Thank you, Senator Smith, the senator from Nevada. Is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and Ranking Member Toomey. Again, as I said yesterday in the banking hearing, I just wish you all the best, and it has been a pleasure to know you and to be able to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Feelings mutual.
Director Chopra, it's great to see you. You know how I feel as a former Attorney General. The work that you do is just so important, and that partnership with the AGs across the country, like you said, is key to really address some of the consumer challenges that we are seeing. Every time there is a law that is passed, usually there's some predatory actor trying to figure out another way to take advantage, and so we have to stay diligent and be on top of all of these issues. One of them that has been important to me, and Jack Reed has talked a little bit about this, is our service members and their families. I know in 2021, our service members and their families submitted more than 42,000 complaints to the Consumer Bureau. The most common type of complaint, more than 60%, were about credit reporting and debt collection. I know also that service members have complained to the Bureau about billing inaccuracies, and that debt collectors use aggressive tactics to recover allegedly unpaid medical bills. So how has the Bureau protected service members and their families from unfair practices? Can you talk about what you're trying to do to address this?
Yeah, so we've actually taken a number of enforcement actions on the Military Lending Act. Last week, we released a report about the Service Member Civil Relief Act, which provides important protections. Let me just say more broadly, though, the impact of the credit report for a service member, it's different than for civilians, because when they're moving a lot or when there's certain life events, they need to be able to rely on that, sometimes even for security clearances. So credit reporting issues are really tough.
Or continuation in the military.
That's right.
I mean, this is such an important thing, and this is what I hear from our servicemen and women in the state of Nevada.
And one of the things that I worry too is they're more likely to be victims of identity theft. Mm-hmm. So the issue of service member data and privacy and their credit reports, I think, is going to continue to be a top issue. I know this is also a place where the Federal Trade Commission has put in work, and they have authorities, and we're going to continue to work with them. The DoD has been a very good partner in figuring out other indicia of military family readiness. Mm-hmm. And so there's more work which we can brief you on about.
Please do. I look forward to it, because I know Jack talked about, and you addressed the Civil Relief Act and the concern that our active duty, particularly our Reserve and National Guard, are paying an extra $9 million in interest every year. And so I appreciate your work in addressing it. Let me jump back to just in general credit reporting. For years, the top complaint from consumers in general, and this is even when I was Attorney General, has been inaccurate credit reports. And thanks to the Bureau's efforts, we are seeing some improvements with getting real and timely responses to the complaints. Can you talk about that progress that the Consumer Bureau has had with improving responsiveness from some of these credit reporting companies, but also what else do we need to be doing, and what can Congress do to address this issue?
I think that the three credit reporting conglomerates obviously don't face the same competitive constraints that a normal business does. Mm-hmm. Consumers are not their customer often. So consumers are the product. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a fundamental market failure that requires us to make sure that they are taking accuracy and disputes seriously. It is clear that for some of them, they are willing to pay the occasional fine or class action lawsuit. But ultimately, there is a serious issue when it comes to their incentives. I want to share that I also worry about the new generation of data brokers and background screeners that are even collecting data on small businesses, collecting data on others. We need to make sure that those secret dossiers that individuals have rights to make sure they are accurate and they can dispute wrong issues.
I do too. And I will just say, as a former Attorney General dealing with the subprime mortgage crisis, I can't tell you how many homeowners are even heard from that they were trying to work with the credit reporting company and they were being punitive against them. It's an area that we really have to focus on.
And that lingers with people for so long. Mm-hmm. And often if one of your three reports has problems, you're shut out.
That's right. It is devastating. So thank you again. Thank you for the work. I look forward to continuing that work with you and the Bureau and your incredible staff.